let me tell you something, man. It's got to be a good feeling, bro, coming in up to play the Yankees, hit a home run, center field, and it's like it looks like a halfway swing. Talk to me about that home run you hit yesterday, man.
Yeah, you know, Gil's a good pitcher, knowing that he got a good fastball. So just trying to be ready for that. But like you said, kind of just keeping it simple, man. I don't have to do a big swing, and gratefully, he let me pitch in the middle, and I was just able to kind of flick it that way and get it
You
out.
were happy eyes lit, man, when you saw that pitch come.
Oh my God, yeah, no, I knew. It's funny. I actually thought that pitch was more inside than it was. It was down the middle. But yeah, my eyes lit up, and I tried to just keep it real simple and quick, get to it. And then when I hit it, that's when my eyes really got like happy.
Well, your mindset when you hit it, is it just I'm gonna hit it as long as I can and as hard as I can? I mean, you go up there to swing. There's no I'm gonna go for a walk, little bunt here and there. You go for the fences, man.
Yeah, I think I actually had to learn the controlled aggression, right? I can go up there definitely with the free, clear mind, but if I ever try to, hit it really far, hit it too hard, usually my swing actually breaks down, and I swing and miss a lot when I do that. So, the past couple weeks, I've been really trying to control and hone in that violent swing, keep it nice and short, and that's when I actually hit it, my furthest.
Now, the reason why we're talking about that home run and your swing when you're coming up here to swing is because a lot of times when things aren't going the way you want them to go, somebody's going to come up to you and say, well, we got to do this. We got to switch the way you've been hitting. And you've been hitting that way for God knows how long. So
Yeah.
What do you say to something like that?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I'm a person that's going to listen, right? And sometimes I give other people the benefit of the doubt rather than like, hey, I know my swing. I know how I'm successful. And that comes from my heart really wanting to learn. But what I've learned from doing that is more times than not, I get further away from who I am as a hitter. So
that's my, yep.
yeah. So going to kind of to your point, to your question, it's like when I'm handling that well, I kind of tell that coach or tell that person like, hey, I hear you, I understand what you're saying, but this is what works for me, and this is what I'm gonna put my chips on. Because a lot of times too, man, like no one's gonna really bash the hitting coach, right? It's all about
you're the man. Yeah.
You're the person, you're the player, and again, a lot of people that I have in my corner, people I listen to, they all have good intentions, but at the same time, I know what's best for me.
And the reason why I tell you that is because right now, they dissect everything. If you blink 3 times, they say, well, how come you blink 3 times? You used to blink once before. Is it hard as a player facing the media every day, scrutiny on social media, scrutiny from the fans? Does it get a little harder from?
I think it's like the subconscious pressure because, to be honest, I try to keep a layer between me and the media, keep a layer between me and the fans, understanding like, hey, they love you when you're doing well. They're going to have something to say when you're not. So I try to usually do a good job of keeping a layer, but even still with that, there is a subtle weight that comes with that. But I think, the best thing for me is in my faith in God and in my faith in myself and God's plan for me. I kind of just stick to that and let it play out.
And when did you realize that there was something beyond that? God was the man, the key driver in your faith.
My life. Well, it started at an earlier age, for sure. Just kind of diving in the Word with my father and my mother, and then kind of going into the game of baseball is where I think for me, I'm very grateful for this sport, as hard as it is. But those were times, especially when I was in like high school, where I really kind of used God as my power source to be the best person, the best player, the best teammate that I could be, and keeping God as my forefront in my in my vision and in my heart and in my mind. It just helped me to be the best person that I could be.
Last year we spoke a little bit about faith.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it reminded me about something that Martin Luther King said one time. He said, you know what? At 12 at midnight, when the whole world is against me and things haven't gone right, I look to God and I find that He can guide me through it. Is that what happens to you? That when maybe you go 0 for 3, 0 for 16, you said, you know what? God will find me. He's going to guide the way. I'm going to pull through this.
Absolutely, Francisco. I think that's correct. I think that's how I find myself. And you look at great leaders in the world; they find themselves doing that as well. Going back to the Bible, King David, did the same thing. Just countless times when we are down in our backs, and sometimes it feels like the world's against us. or we're down to our last dollar, it's like that's where God shines His brightest light in those moments.
What about your parents? I mean, I'm sure that your parents got to be happy that you found the faith and that you're an example to a lot of kids in
Yeah, absolutely.
Atlanta and everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's something that I know that my parents are probably most proud of about me is, how I keep my faith, with me through everything.
How you conduct yourself also as a first-class citizen.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And it's all, kudos and praise to them, that they are my foundation. They're the base of me. And again, they were just pouring in love to me so that I can grow up to be a good young man.
Now, I got to ask you this because you being from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Your parents, I'm sure that they must have gone through some difficult times and stuff.
Absolutely.
When you heard Reggie Jackson say stuff like that, what he said in the minor league, that gives you the, you check, hey man, I've been there, I've been through there, we've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you relate with Reggie?
Yeah, well, my dad actually sent me the clip of the interview that little speech he had done, and I'll say very gratefully that in my life I haven't really had to experience the blatantness of the disrespect, and the evils, that come with it. There's definitely been subtle times that I've had to experience it, but
we all been there, bro.
We all been there, and I think the true response, is how you carry yourself and how you act when those things come. And obviously Reggie Jackson being who he was and how he prevailed through everything, he was a beacon of light for us, black players in the game.
He's just like you, a slugger, man.
Yeah.
Left-handed slugger,
yeah,
brother.
Left-handed slugger. Yeah. He's a man.
That's why it reminded me. I said, you know what, man? Will and Reggie was big, man.
Yeah,
Reggie don't look that big now, but back in the day, Reggie was big.
Yeah.
And I said, man, that's Reggie in the work.
Flesh. Yeah, man. I would be so honored and blessed if I even got to half of what Reggie was doing out there, bro. He's a great player, man. Obviously, his stat line's crazy. I'm sure I don't know much about him as a person, but I would think he was a great person too.
Now, your parents, man, they got to be as happy as hell that you've reached the major leagues, man, that you've done what you've done, man. And at any given moment, brother, you 450 feet, you're going to down center field, you're going to send that ball. They got to be looking at you like, hey, man, we knew it.
Yeah, they're definitely happy and proud. I always kind of give them, a little hard time, but the little message breakdowns they give me after the games, I don't want to take them for granted. I'm thankful for them, but they've been my biggest supporters.
Well, listen, man, it's an honor to be with you, man. And I'll tell you this right now, a lot of kids got to look up to you, man, because you've done it right, man. You've done it right.
I appreciate
and
that.
you're inside and out. You're first class, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Hey, brother, be safe and say hello to your parents.
Yes, sir, I will, for sure.
They did it right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Amigos y amigos, suscríbase todo al canal Las 5 Esquinas. Lo esperamos con mucho cariño y amor. Gracias.